If there's one brand that I would say is the most improved in the last couple of years, it's Motorola. And that is evident by their growth numbers in 2024, from bringing competitive phones in literally every price segment to relaunching SKUs like tablets, smartwatches, and even laptops. Motorola is doing a really good job, at least product launch-wise. But at the same time, I have seen a lot of comments from people skeptical to buy Motorola phones because of two reasons. A, slower software updates, and B, Motorola's product availability is still a big question mark. Like the Edge 60 Fusion was launched 3 or 4 weeks ago, but still Flipkart's page says coming soon and Motorola's website says currently unavailable. In the past too, we have seen similar issues. Motorola's new models are generally out of stock or just not available for purchase. So I do hope Motorola makes the Edge 60 Fusion available soon, because I think this is a pretty well-rounded device for its price. Of course, it has its own set of cons, which I will discuss towards the end of this video. For now, let's get into my 1-month experience with the Moto Edge 60 Fusion. Let's go. Alright everybody, I'm back. I got a little too excited, but now let's talk about the first two things that I absolutely have loved about this phone. Number one, the design, and number two, its display. Under 25,000 rupees, there is no other phone that has an IP68 and IP69 rating, and I think having an IP rating really gives you that peace of mind. Next, this phone is really well built and so handy for someone with small hands like me. Most importantly, it isn't thick or bulky or heavy, especially considering it has 5500 mAh battery. So using it for long hours has been a comfortable experience for me over time. I know the Vivo T4, which is priced similarly to this, comes with a massive 7300 mAh battery. But I have found the endurance of the Moto Edge 60 Fusion to be really good. Like, I would get somewhere between 7.5 to 8 hours of screen on time with this phone, which translates to a full day of heavy use. And it charges in around 45 minutes with the included 68-watt PD charger, which isn't bad, so I won't exactly complain. The only things I have grown to dislike about the Edge 60 Fusion's design are that the in-display fingerprint sensor here is placed a little down below, so I've had to stretch my finger all the way to reach it. And I also have faced a little bit of mistouch issue with this curved screen. Other than that, this design here is top-notch. As I mentioned before, the display side of things here is impressive too. First of all, this screen is really bright whether you're outdoors in the shade or directly under the sun. Visibility is never an issue here, and this is a nice sharp display, so watching content on it has been a great experience too. Thankfully, Motorola has not cheaped out on the haptics, so interacting with this screen feels good too. And the company has also included loud and balanced speakers, so as I said, viewing content here feels top-notch. I have even dropped this phone a few times, and the Gorilla Glass 7 eye protection on the screen has worked well to make sure the screen does not shatter. But turns out it is not as scratch resistant, and you can see I have quite a few scratches on the screen already. I did try to find a screen protector for it, but you guys know how difficult it is to find good and long-lasting screen protectors for curved screens in the market, so I really wished Motorola had provided a pre-applied one here. Oh, and I forgot to mention, you don't get HDR video playback support on Netflix on this phone yet. It's only available on YouTube and it plays fine. Now, getting to the performance side of things, if you're someone who plays games even a little bit, I think this phone is not made for you. Now, don't get me wrong, the Dimensity 7400 chipset here is able to handle 60 FPS PUBG gameplay and even Genshin Impact in medium to low settings well enough. But we all know curved screens and gaming do not go hand in hand. A mistouch here, another mistouch there, it just can get frustrating, to be honest. Plus, if you really want to play games, there are a ton of other options that you can consider, like the Poco X7 Pro and something like the Realme GT6T, which are much better equipped for gaming. But if you don't play a lot of games, I think this phone provides a decent day-to-day performance. It does not feel slow while using your regular social media apps or while multitasking, and Motorola has optimized their UI very well here. Like last year, I complained about a few bugs in the UI on the Moto Edge 50 Pro and the Edge 50 Fusion, but this year the experience was pretty smooth. I also want to appreciate Motorola for not including unnecessary bloatware apps here. Like, besides the system apps, you will only come across a few inbuilt Motorola apps, and that is all. You get an almost stock Android-like experience with this phone, no heavy animations, no crappy ads, nothing. which I find to be quite refreshing. Also, it's 2025, so without a doubt, you get AI features on the Moto Edge 60 Fusion like on any other phone. Besides Gemini, you also have Moto AI, which includes a few things like converting my voice notes into text. There's image generation too, and my personal favorite is this journal feature where you can save any photo or screenshot with a written or a voice note so that you can remember it later. Motorola phones also come with something called a Smart Connect feature, with which you can connect your phone with any Windows PC or tablet with the help of Motorola's Smart Connect app and mirror your phone on a bigger screen. And one of the most underrated features that you get with Moto phones is sound personalization. In case you don't like the inbuilt sound, you can make a custom sound profile here or choose between different options. I prefer the music option, which makes the audio sound a bit richer and fuller. All in all, you get little nifty features here which I found to be really cool and useful at the same time. The only question mark with Motorola software is their update policy. While they have committed to 3 years of OS and 4 years of security updates here, which is on par with what Nothing and OnePlus is providing in a similar price range, Motorola devices are generally one of the slowest to provide yearly Android versions and even quarterly updates. Now, talking of updates, sadly Motorola has not updated their cameras here from last year. You get the same camera setup as before with a 50 megapixel primary, 13 megapixel ultra-wide lens and a 32 megapixel sensor on the front. To gain some perspective on its camera performance, I compared the Edge 60 Fusion's cameras with my current favorite mid-range phone, the Nothing Phone 3A, and I am glad to report that I have been pretty happy with the performance of its primary lens. You get sharp, detailed photos from it that have punchy contrast and uplifted saturation. The Nothing Phone 3A, on the other hand, also brings out contrasty output, but the photos are slightly less vibrant than Motorola's. I prefer Motorola's pictures mostly because they are striking and grab attention, although sometimes you will notice a bit of shadow crushing issue here. The Edge 60 Fusion also takes nice portraits, but since there is no telephoto lens here, the subject focus and details are not as good as the Nothing Phone 3A's, which has a dedicated 2x telephoto lens. And sometimes Motorola just boosts the contrast too much, while Nothing is able to balance the contrast better. Now, don't get me wrong, standalone the portraits from Moto aren't bad, but you can shoot 3x and 4x portraits from Nothing, so there's greater flexibility. I like the selfies from both phones equally though. The detail levels are similar and colors are nice on both. During the night, I found the Nothing Phone 3A being able to manage the highlights while shooting bright lights better than Motorola. When there aren't a lot of lights, both phones do an equally good job though, at least with the main camera. The ultra-wide images during the night have better details than Motorola thanks to its bigger 13 megapixel sensor versus just 8 megapixel on Nothing. And even during the day, the Edge 60 Fusion brings out slightly better looking ultra-wide images with better dynamic range than Nothing. And the best part is that you can shoot 4K 30fps videos from Motorola's ultra-wide lens, which you cannot do with the Nothing Phone 3A. The Edge 60 Fusion even lets you switch between the lenses while shooting in 4K, and you can shoot 4K selfie videos too, unlike the Nothing Phone 3A, so that's a plus. The only caveat with Motorola's videos is the quality just degrades when you're shooting indoors for some reason. But overall, I found the Edge 60 Fusion's cameras to be quite versatile for both photography and videography. But if you're someone who likes clicking portraits more than anything else, I think the Nothing Phone 3A will do a better job for you. Alright everyone, so after using the Moto Edge 60 Fusion for around a month, I have been pretty happy with the overall experience that I got with it. It's a great balanced package under 25,000 rupees with a nice design, great display, good battery backup, and the cameras are especially not bad. Plus, I really like the price of this phone since we're getting 256 GB of storage at just 23,000 rupees, whereas you have to pay like 4,000 extra to get the 256 GB variant of the Nothing Phone 3A, and that's a big win for Motorola. Anyway, I also have been testing the Moto Edge 60 stylus, which is a similarly priced phone, but this one comes with an inbuilt pen if that's useful to you. But I found the performance and the cameras here to just be weaker than the Edge 60 Fusion. So if you don't want the stylus, better go with the Edge 60 Fusion. Alright everybody, that was my full review of the Motorola Edge 60 Fusion. Do you think this phone is the best under 25,000 rupees right now? Do let us know in the comments below, and while you're there, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that notifications icon. Saying this, I'm Pratima and thank you so much for watching.